Are those the pictures from last night?
Oh, Maker Park, that's what he did, isn't it?
Okay, I'm Paul, and before this roast commences, there's a couple people that I want to acknowledge. I'd like to first thank the Riley and the Niche family for such a wonderful weekend. It's really been a lot of fun, and I'm thankful to be a part of it. Next, I want to thank Dennis and Risa for raising such a wonderful daughter, Roxy. And I really want to thank the Rileys as well for playing such a meaningful role in my life. I really love you guys, and you truly are family to me. And of course, I want to acknowledge Roxy. Planning weddings are not easy, and this day is perfect. I know you had a lot to do with that, so really good job. And you look absolutely stunning. You look so good, you're making Blake look a lot more handsome than he really is. This is a big day. It's a big day for Blake, it's a big day for Roxy, and I don't want to overshadow that at all. But it's also a big year for me and Blake. See, this year is our 25th anniversary of being best buddies. Did you know that? Selfish. So Blake never actually formally asked me to be his best man. A couple days after they got engaged, he called me up and said, "Hey, let's go grab a beer." And I said, "Okay." Show up to the bar, and he hands me this piece of paper, and it says, "We need to plan a bachelor party." And on the piece of paper, there's a list of 50 dudes. And he says, "I want to do it in Vegas." And I said, "Oh, I feel bad for the poor guy has to plan this thing. It's going to cost about $200,000. And I looked closer at the list, and next to my name it said best man. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm that poor guy. After knowing Blake for 25 years, I've learned 3 things about him. 3 important things. 1, when he sets his mind to something, he works extremely hard to achieve that goal. 2, he will do absolutely anything for the people that he loves the most. And 3, he's a phenomenal dancer, as we all saw tonight. And I don't really know how that happened, because when we were younger, we spent every day together, and I never saw him practice. Not once, not one time ever. The guy came out of the womb being able to break dance and moonwalk. It's incredible. The first time I witnessed Blake's dedication to a goal and out-of-the-box thinking was in 5th grade. See, Blake got put into a class with all the nerds, as he would describe it. And Blake had to devise a way to get out of this class into another class where all of his buddies were. So, in typical Blake form, and only he could pull this off, he decided he wasn't going to talk at all to anybody. Even when the teacher would ask him a question, he would just sit there with his arms crossed and have a grin on his face, like, I'm not going to answer you. And finally, she got so frustrated, they moved him to the class with all of his buddies. So it works. When Blake was a kid, he hated his red hair. And this was a vulnerability that I would take full advantage of. He would always respond to me by saying, "It's not red, it's strawberry blonde." So I think I scarred him, because when he left for Canada to pursue his first love, hockey, he would always come home with a different hair color. So many of you didn't get to experience this, so I brought these exhibits that we could all gander at here. This is Blake with black hair and a black beard. He went through a bit of a goth phase. You can pass these around if you want. This is Blake with blonde curly locks. It's another awesome look. This is my personal favorite, the blonde frosty tips. with a base of red hair. I call it fire and ice. So, there was also blue in there. That one exhibit. So after hockey was over, Blake moved home, and he was a bit lost. He didn't really know what to do with himself without hockey. So we moved in together. We got an apartment, roommates, and I threw out, "Hey, let's go snowboarding." He's like, "Okay, that sounds like a good idea." So he didn't have any of the gear, so we went to the sporting goods store. And again, in typical Blake form, he picked out the most ridiculous, most flamboyant, highlighter-colored outfit you could imagine. From head to toe, it was highlighter. You can see this outfit from space. So we get back to the apartment, I'm trying to explain to him how to get on and off the chairlift, and he looked a bit daunted by the whole thing. So I talked him into wearing his entire highlighter outfit, strapping a snowboard to his feet in the middle of the living room. And we had these old office chairs, and I would practice wheeling it up to him, simulating the chairlift, and he would look over his shoulder, and he'd sit down and wheel a little bit more, and then he'd get off, and that's how we practiced. And the first if someone could have filmed that, it would have been awesome. So we finally got up to the mountain, and he first couple runs were rough. He fell a lot, which again I loved. He looked like a highlighter rolling down the mountain. But he eventually became very good at it, and now it's one of his favorite things to do. The first time I met Roxy, I remember seeing her at our apartment and seeing them together, and the first thing that I thought was Popeye and olive oil. It looked exactly like Popeye and olive oil. Blake's all big and buff, and Roxy's all skinny and innocent, and he likes to protect her. But I have actually been very fortunate to spend a lot of time with Roxy. She's one of the most genuinely kind, most generous, selfless persons I've ever met in my life. And you bring out the best in my good buddy Blake, Roxy. And you make me very good friends. And I'm by no means an expert at this subject, but I've been married for 14 months. And the one thing I've learned is that love is an action. It's a verb. It's not just a word. It's something you do and you practice every day. And I know that if Blake and Roxy put in the same amount of effort into their relationship as they do with everything else in their lives, they will have a lifetime of happiness. And I'm fortunate to get a front row seat to that adventure. So, at my wedding, Blake brought up a bottle of Maker's Mark. And so in keeping with tradition, in keeping with tradition, let's all raise our glasses to Blake and Roxy. I love you guys. And in the words of Blake, let's party.
Next I'd like to invite the father and the bride to come back and say the blessing.